Hi guys, this is Rosa Kelly and I'm here with part 3 of my Valentine's album tutorial. And as you can see here, I have my beautiful design paper and I'm using the Bo Bunny Only You paper collection that you can find at countrycraftcreations.com. And here is my binding, my cover piece that we did together on part 1 of this series. And then also I have my pages that I number from 1 to 7 if you are doing the gatefold, and or 1 through 4 if you are doing this album right here. So this album, you can see the collection, you can see how I put the papers. So I'm gonna put the link down below to this album if you want to look at it more in detail and see how you're gonna place the papers, or you can decorate it the way you want to. And so, but today we're going to concentrate on embellishing the gatefold album. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about before we start embellishing and covering everything with paper is thinking about what you're going to use as a closure. So because this is a gatefold albums always need a closure, otherwise, you know, it's always going to open up like so, and you don't want that to happen. So I have here a couple of options that I wanted to show you to see what works for you, what you have on your stash, you know. So number one, I have these little doorknobs. Now you don't have to use these ones, of course. These are the ones that I just had and I wanted to show you what I have. So if you have 2 doorknobs, especially if they look the same, these ones don't look the same, but just to get you the idea here, you can place the 2 doorknobs and then you can use some seam binding and just make a bow, and that could be your closure. Now if you're gonna do the doorknobs, you want to cover your paper first, and then you're going the front paper, and then you're gonna use your whichever kind of doorknob you have. Most of the time you have to unscrew the back and punch a hole and then put this on, and then you will cover the back, because you do want to cover this after you add it. So first your paper, then your doorknobs, then you cover the back. So that's one option. Now if you're going to simply use some seam binding or ribbon or some kind of bow, so you want to use your ribbon first before you add your design paper. For example, if I was gonna use this right now, I'm not gonna glue it in here. Let me grab 2 pieces here, and let me grab the other end to this. So you could put one here. Actually, you don't want to do this and this, because then it's going to be hard to tie the bow right on this side. So I would actually put it on the side here on your spine. You will put one there and one here, and that way you have more room to make a pretty bow and something like that. And then also I have a third choice here, and I had these little metal hardware pieces, and I had this on my stash for a long time, so I decided to use it. So this is what I'm going to be using for my closure. So I think I got this on eBay, and I don't remember exactly where, but if I find the link I will put it down below. And I don't even remember what they're called, but I'm sure you've seen this before. So if we're gonna use something like this, you will cover your paper first, and then I'm gonna do this so you can see how I place it. And I think they're kind of tricky. I've never used one before yet, so you just want to make sure they're centered. You're gonna mark it with your pencil, and we're gonna punch those holes, and then we're gonna use some brads to secure this in place. So I'm gonna be using this one just because I really like the vintage look of this little metal piece. So yeah, so those are some options that you have. So just work with what you have, and and use your stash. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, and I'm sure there are many other options too, but those are just the ones that are coming to my head for options on closure. So now, I don't know if I should start. I think I'm gonna start embellishing the inside of the album first, just because once I do my decorations outside, I don't want to manipulate this too much. So I'm gonna put this on the side for now. Let me just keep it together, and we're gonna start decorating our pages. So now I was looking through the designs, and I really like this pink. I don't know if you can tell there, but it has some very pretty design here. So I'm gonna be using these for my front cover, because my front cover, I'm also going to be using some flowers. So these are 49 mark of flowers. You can also find these are Country Craft Creations. And then also I had these flowers on my stash, and these ones are from Recollections. So I think the colors are very pretty, and they go with the colors of the collection. So I'm going to be using that to decorate my cover. And then I decided also I'm going to be using this paper, and I'm going to be using the cut parts to decorate the front of my album. So I'm going to save those aside. And then I really love this design. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to be using these for the back of my album. And even the back of that, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I might use this also for my spines. I'm not sure. So once I've selected what I'm going to be using for my covers, I'm going to put these ones aside so I don't accidentally cut them, and then I don't have anything for my covers. So now I'm going to start cutting my papers and adding them into my albums. So now I don't know if you actually want to see me cut all these papers. Maybe I'll just speed through it so this video is not super long. So let me do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we cover all of our pages, we are ready to add them into our album. So let me remove that. Actually, let's go ahead and cover the back here. Let me pick a design. Let me see the ones that I have left. And that way, oh, I love this. I love this Cupid. So I'm gonna use the Cupid for the back. And so this piece on the back, it's going to be 8. Let me move this to the side real quick. Okay, sorry, let me move this to the side. Okay, so the piece on the back is going to be 8 inches. By 6 1/4. Okay, so I think that should be a good size here on for the back. And so let me go ahead and ink. So if you notice on the video, I inked every single page using this distress ink, Tim Holtz vintage photo. That's like my favorite one to use. So yeah, so everything I distress and just like that. So I did the sides, but then I also did a little bit on the corners as well. Alright, so let me put this to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to my back. Okay. So adding the papers is always the most time-consuming part, and it's definitely the least fun, to me at least, to cover the papers. Okay, so I have the 3 sheets that will go on these sides and the 4 sheets that will go on this side. Now I kind of have them as we, you know, number them, and you definitely don't have to follow the order. You can do either way, depending on what you like. So over here, notice that I didn't add at the beginning. I wasn't adding paper to all the layouts, just because I wanted to make sure towards the end that I had enough paper to cover at least all the fronts, and I do. So I'm gonna go back and cover those sheets in a little bit. So but first, before we start adding, I'm gonna use some double-sided tape, and I'm using a 1/2 inch. You could also use some glue, but for this step I actually recommend double-sided tape. It's just, to me, it's easier to manage. So I'm putting the tape very close to the outside edge, just like that. I'm on a weird angle here, and then I'm gonna do it on both sides of each flap. Okay, so just like that, and I'm gonna do the same to all of my flaps. Okay, so once I have all the double-sided tape added, we're gonna go ahead and start adding our pages. So this is gonna be my page 1 from the left side, and so here we have our opening. So what we're gonna do is just peel off a little bit of this tape, just a little bit to the side, and then we're gonna open these up and kind of just insert. Let me see if I'm at a good angle here. So we're gonna insert this in like so, okay? And then don't push your page all the way in. You want to leave at least an 1/8 of an inch space between your binding and your page. And then we're gonna press on the sticky side, and then we're just gonna pull this tape out like that. Okay, So then we're gonna turn it around and just peel off the tape. Let's see. Just like that. Okay, so then we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna actually do it this way. Take off a little bit of the tape, and then we're gonna insert the page, find your opening, and let's see here, put it down first, and here we go. Oops, make sure I'm not grabbing the next one. And then we're gonna make sure you are centered up and down, and you are just on top of the tape. Don't go all the way in. And we're gonna press on the sticky side, and then just take this tape out. Flip it and do the same on the other side. Now we're just removing this tape. So I find this tool very, very useful, and I get a lot of questions on where I got it. This one came with my Cricut machine, but actually this is a replacement, because the one that came with my Cricut machine here, I got glue on it and it melted, and it's just kind of gross. So I got a new one, and you can just buy it by itself at I think either Michael's or Joann's. I'm sure they have it online too. So I'm just gonna add the next page here. Oh, lost it. Okay, so this one. So just the same way. So we put it in. It is centered up and down. Hold up. This one kind of broke. So let me find it here. Here we go. Okay. And then we're gonna take it out on the other side. Okay. And here we go. So then we're just gonna do the last one. I'll just might as well do it here really quick. And here we go. Take that out, and then we do this other side as well. Okay, and now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to start. Now remember that these pages are going to overlap each other. So make sure that you have them on the right, you know, however you want to have them. So the opening for these ones is on this side. So I know that I kind of want this one on the front. So I'm kind of going to switch up my orders. Maybe this one second, and maybe this one last. I don't know. Okay, let me start on this one first. Move this out of the way. Okay. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm actually gonna start on this side. I'm going to peel this to the left, and then just add my page. Just like this. Let me see which one is this. Okay. Take that out, and then I'm going to turn it to the other side and take that out as well. Okay, so I have that one, and then so next one, let me see here, which one would be next? I think I want this one to be next. Okay, so again I'm gonna peel off this tape, and just keep adding my actually I should have done this one. So okay, it doesn't really matter which way you put them. I mean, this was supposed to be the last one, but I really like coordinating my colors. That's why I'm a little bit picky about the order that I put them on. Okay, so then that's that one, and then last it would be this one right here. Here we go. So next we're gonna use our cut aparts and our lace and just embellish our album. Okay, and this one. Oops. Okay, here we go. So now our album is going to close up one page like this, one page like that. We still have to finish this, and then it's gonna close up kind of like so, and then this one there, and then this one here, and then that one right there. See that? So now our album is overlapping, and then if you look at it from the top, let's pretend this is closed. Oops, sorry about that. So let's close this up and pretend that our album is closed, and then you will see that you have plenty of room to add pictures. Even if we want to add a couple more layouts, we still have a little room, especially on the back. So I'm gonna stop right here, and we're gonna continue embellishing and adding, you know, doing our cover decorations and the tags for the inside of the pages on the next part. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.